Welcome back to Play Action Fantasy Football Week 10 start sit tight ends we're going over today. This is Jonathan. Before I get started, if you guys could please like and subscribe, I greatly appreciate it. And if there's anything you think I'm talking about that you think something else or whatever the case may be, you want to compliment, anything, go comment, let us know what you think. We're going to start off with Thursday night, Panthers at the Bears. We're looking at tight ends Hayden Hurst and Tommy Tremble for the Panthers and Cole Kmet for the Bears. For the Panthers, I'm sitting Hurst and Tommy Tremble. Both of them, they play about the same amount of role for the Panthers offense. Tommy Tremble is starting to step up more and getting more usage. Hayden Hurst started off the season as the main target. However, they're splitting it now. And last week, for example, they both had 2 targets and 0 receptions. So I'm not going to put either of them in my lineup. They're both going to be a sit this week. And as far as the Bears go, Cole Kmet, he's going to be a start against the Panthers. The Panthers have an okay defense, but Cole Kmet, he's a big part of this Bears offense, especially with Khalil Herbert's injury. They like to find Kmet. He's their big receiver there at tight end. So he's going to be a start this week against the Panthers, and I'd feel confident in that. As far as Sunday goes, we're going to our 9:30 game, 9:30 a.m. in Germany. It's going to be the Colts at the Patriots. As far as the Colts go, their tight end situation's been a little bit sticky. They have Kylan Granson in there and Andrew Ogletree, who is going to be questionable. Mo Alley-Cox, I didn't list him. He's not really going to be relevant. But Andrew Ogletree, he is questionable. Whether he plays or not, he's going to be a sit for me. I don't see him getting enough touches with Kylan Granson back. But with that being said, Kylan Granson is also going to be a sit. I don't see the Colts having a lot of success other than maybe the run game or Taylor catching some passes. But I don't see the tight ends really having a good day there in New England. But as far as the Patriots go, Hunter Henry, he's going to have a hell of a game. I mean, he started off super hot. As you all know, he's one of the best tight ends in the first week or two. And then he kind of dropped off a little bit. So I think this is the game where he comes back. The Colts defense is not good. I think Henry is going to be able to definitely get his targets and get a lot of points. So I would not be scared to have him there at your starting tight end. Going to the 1 o'clock games. First up, we got Browns at the Ravens. Tight end David Njoku and Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews not going to spend too much time on. He's obviously going to be a start. The Browns have one of the best, if not the best, defense in the league. However, Mark Andrews, week 4, was in Cleveland, and he had 5 receptions for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I don't think it's a matter of the matchup when it comes to this. It's just going to be a matter of the flow of the game. And Andrews, either way, is definitely going to be putting up points. It might not be his best of the year, nothing like that, but it's going to be solid. And as far as David Njoku goes, he's going to be a cautionary start. He has potential, trust me, and with Deshaun Watson, how he's playing, he's starting to play better. David Njoku actually has a better opportunity getting in the red zone, getting those impactful catches that are getting in the end zone, getting long catches. So I do think Njoku, if you have to put him in at tight end, definitely do it. If you say you have somebody on bye or whatever the case may be, David Njoku would not be a bad replacement. However, if he's your only tight end and you have to play him, I wouldn't expect too much from him. Going to our next 1 o'clock game, we got the Packers at the Steelers. Luke Musgrave, Darnell Washington, these both are going to be sits for me. I'm not going to cover that too much. Musgrave hasn't proven much. Darnell Washington, he hasn't played much at all. Darnell Washington, one thing that is impressive with me is he's 6'7". He can get up there and get the ball, but I don't see the Steelers offense utilizing him enough. He might get a catch here or there, or he can get lucky with one throw maybe towards the end zone, and he gets lucky. But either way, they're both going to be sits for me. Musgrave isn't going to do much. Our next game is going to be the 49ers at the Jaguars. George Kittle, Evan Ingram, another simple one. George Kittle is obviously an easy start as usual. Evan Ingram, on the other hand, he's going to be a start too. 49ers have a good defense, but as I've always said, Evan Ingram is a big part of this Jacksonville offense, and Trevor Lawrence likes finding him. So Evan Ingram is going to be an easy start. Obviously, you'd want either of those guys starting in your league. Next 1 o'clock game, we're going to the Saints at the Vikings. Taysom Hill, TJ Hawkinson. This is like the 49ers and Jags. We got Taysom Hill. He's going to be an easy start. I mean, he's a dual threat tight end. He runs, throws, catches the ball, everything. He's a fantasy monster as far as fantasy points go. So Taysom Hill is definitely an easy start this week. Vikings do have a good defense, but I don't think that's going to impact Hill too much. And same thing with TJ Hawkinson. Saints have a very good defense. Hawkinson is questionable with an oblique or rib injury. We're not exactly sure. Again, this is Monday, by the way, that I'm recording this, so things can obviously change throughout the week. So you want to keep an eye on that Hawkinson injury, but it does look like he can play for sure. So I'm going to have to put him as a start. And with Dobbs throwing the ball, and they'd have Justin Jefferson out. Now that Akers is injured with an Achilles, it's going to be hard for them not to either go to Madison or Hawkinson. So Hawkinson's an easy start this week. Just keep an eye on his injury because he may not play. Next up, we got Texans at the Bengals. Dalton Schultz, Irv Smith. Dalton Schultz, what else is there to say? He's had a great couple weeks. C.J. Stroud is finding his stride with him, and he's going to have to be a start this week against the Bengals, who they've been doing better more recently, but their defense isn't super impressive. So Dalton Schultz is definitely going to be an easy start this week. Look for him to get a lot of points. Irv Smith, on the other hand, for the Bengals, he's a cautionary start this week. He has had a bad year so far, as the Bengals started off very slow. However, I do think that this week he can definitely show up against a struggling Texans defense. Last week, the Bengals started to utilize their tight ends more. They had Drew Sample in there. Irv Smith caught a touchdown. So it was a very good week last week for Irv Smith, and I do think he can build on that. So if you need to put a tight end in there, say you have Kelsey or Goddard or Smythe or whoever's on bye week, and you need to put somebody in there, put Irv Smith in there. Don't be too scared about that one, but don't expect too much at the same time. Next up, we're going to Titans at Buccaneers. We're looking at Okonkwo and Otten. As far as Okonkwo goes, I'm going to have to sit him this week. The Buccaneers have a very good defense, and the Titans' offense is just a mess. They're not using Okonkwo like they should be, in my opinion, and it's just not looking very good for him. So he's going to be a sit this week. He hasn't been getting much more than 4, 5, 6 points a week, so it's hard to put him in your lineup. As far as the Buccaneers go, Cade Otton, he had a great touchdown at the end of the game last week. He's looking good, but he's going to be a cautionary start against Titans. Titans, they have an okay defense, not terrible, but not a very impressive one. So I do think Otton has a good matchup this week. It's just a matter of executing on it. I don't have a lot of confidence in Otton, but I have confidence in Mayfield and their chemistry. So I do think Otton is one of those guys, if you want to put in your lineup, try him out, or if you have to, it's definitely not a bad pick. Next up, we're going to our 4 o'clock games. We got the first one is the Lions at the Chargers. Sam Laporta, Gerald Everett. Sam Laporta, he's going to be a start this week, as he always is. Chargers have a bad defense. We all know that. And the Lions are going to take advantage of that. And Sam Laporta is going to be getting points. So definitely want him in your lineup. And Gerald Everett, he's coming off an injury. I think that he's going to be, they had a bye week last week. He's coming off the injury, had some time to rest. It might be a very good week for him against a decent Lions defense. However, at the same time, I wouldn't put all my eggs in his basket. He's a good guy if you, like I said, there's some buys this week. If you have to throw him in there, he might be a good guy to throw in there, but don't expect much from Everett. Next 4 o'clock game, we're going to the Falcons at Cardinals. Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, and Trey McBride. Let's start with the Cardinals. Trey McBride, he's going to be a cautionary start originally. So what I mean by that is Kyler Murray, he may be or maybe not coming back to play this week. Again, I record on Mondays. This is Monday we're talking. So we don't know exactly what the update is on Murray yet. He could be playing, he could not. But Trey McBride, he's shown over the past week or two as Zach Ertz gone, that he is a solid number 1 tight end. a very solid number one tight end. So if Murray is playing, I think he's a solid start. McBride, you definitely want to have in your lineup if Murray comes back. But on the other hand, if Murray doesn't come back, it's going to be harder for McBride to get points against a good Falcons defense. But don't be surprised if he doesn't have good points. So at the same time, I think you should put him in your lineup, but just be a little bit cautious with that. And definitely keep an eye on Kyler Murray. The next 4 o'clock game we're going to is the Giants at the Cowboys. Daniel Bellinger and Jake Ferguson. I think we all know where I'm going with this one. Daniel Bellinger is going to be a sit against a very good Cowboys defense. And Jake Ferguson, he's been on a roll with Dak Prescott throwing the ball. He's the number one receiver besides CeeDee Lamb. He's the second up. So Jake Ferguson is going to be an easy start against Giants. Look for a lot of points from him. Next 4 o'clock game, we got the Commanders at the Seahawks. Logan Thomas, Noah Fant, Will Disley. Logan Thomas is going to be a cautionary start. He's very inconsistent so far this year. He's had good games. He's had bad games. He's going to be in Seattle in that loud stadium, a good defense. Not a great defense, but a good defense. And so it's going to be tough for him to get a lot of points, honestly. But at the same time, he always is in the top 15 tight ends, top 10. He always finds a way to get at least 5, 6, 7, 8 points. So he's going to be a good cautionary start if you have to have him in there, but I would not expect much from Logan Thomas. As far as the Seahawks go, Noah Fant and Will Disley. Noah Fant last week had 0 targets, 0 receptions. Will Disley had 1 target, 0 receptions. I'm not worried about either of these tight ends right now, especially against a decent Commanders defense. I don't think they're going to be focused on throwing the ball to Noah Fant or Will Disley. It's going to be more of a Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett kind of deal. So just keep that in mind. Noah Fant, Will Disley are both sits. Logan Thomas is going to be cautionary. Going to our 8 o'clock game, we got the Jets at the Raiders. Tyler Conklin, Austin Hooper, Michael Mayer. Tyler Conklin, he had a decent week last week. Again, I'm recording on Mondays. The Jets play tonight, so we'll see how Conklin plays. But I'm not too worried about that. He's still going to be a sit at the Raiders. I don't see the Jets offense using him enough where you would want him in your lineup. Simple as that. Austin Hooper and Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is now the lead. Austin Hooper is going to be his backup pretty much is the way it's going. Michael Mayer is a rookie, in case you don't know. Austin Hooper is a seasoned veteran. And they're just kind of moving away from Hooper a little bit. So he's an easy sit. And as far as Michael Mayer goes, he's not an easy sit, but he is going to be a sit. Against this Jets defense and the way the Raiders have been playing, they haven't been using Mayer very well. So I don't see him getting a lot of points Sunday night. And last but not least, we're going to Monday Night Football. We have the Broncos at the Bills, Adam Troutman, and Dalton Kincaid. I think most of you guys know what the answer to this one is. Adam Troutman's going to be a sit in Buffalo. Broncos offense is not impressive at all, let alone Adam Troutman. He's not impressive in any sort of fashion. So he's going to be a sit, and Dalton Kincaid is an easy start. Rookie going hard for the Bills. With Dawson Knox being gone, the Bills obviously rely on Kincaid a lot. He's been scoring a lot of points. He's a big part of that offense. He's explosive. So he's an easy start. You need Kincaid in there. And that will do it for our Week 10 tight end start sits. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, this is Jonathan. Go comment, let us know what you think. Subscribe, like, share with your friends. And most of all, have a great fantasy football week.